The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble. We're back. It's Wednesday after all. And we're back. We're back here live doing it again, talking comics, pop culture, news, reviews with a little bit of booze. And we're all over the place. Today, we're a little bit more focused. We'll be talking about Mortal Kombat and the Battle for the Realm, I believe it's called. I kept Googling Battle for Realms, Battle for the Realms, Battles for the Realm, and it sent me to annihilation. And then we're also doing Shang-Chi. I call it Shang-Chi, but, apparently everything that you did with Shang-Chi and the Mandarin in the past is offensive now. So we have to say it different. But yeah, we're going to be reviewing Marvel's latest MCU epic Kung Fu movie with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So yeah, stick around for that. As always, you can get a hold of us by going to fantasticforum.live, and there's a button in there that lets you call in if you want to do that. As for my cohorts here, we got Jay manning the board.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, Jay. He's manning the board. Pretty soon he'll be giving you some music, but not today. He got me all excited for that, but then he said he's not doing it today. So stick around for that. If you hit subscribe, like, and the bell, you'll be here for it. Look, there's his ukulele.
Yeah, I'm almost ready.
That's a nice dissonant tone, man. That's that middle minor chord, man. That's the devil's tritone. The devil's tritone. Yeah. I feel it. The devil's tritone. I'm transforming as we speak. Next to him, we have Oz.
Yeah. Tired calls being crazy in chat already.
Yeah. He's excited. He's excited as I was about Joe's instrument. And you're not gonna play with your organ now, are you, Oz?
I always do during the show. That's why I never stand up.
And then next to Oz is Larry, Mayor Young. I heard that that Larry is actually short for Larold. I found that out today. I've been calling Larry by mistake. I apologize, Larry.
Who told you that? Larry?
Weekly World News, the magazine.
Oh,
I thought Larold was for when Lawrence and Harold were together for a while.
yeah. No, like it was a while where that was like no Larold, but Harold and Lawrence was like a thing.
Well,
that's just how people referred to us, in college.
Howard's was a little too tongue twisty, so Larold works better.
What I will say to you is, there's very little that brought me more joy today than seeing Joe pick up that ukulele. I was like, wow. I was like, is Jay about to play something? Like, I was just sitting here like, I'm so ready for this. And you played the one chord, and I'm like, I'll take it. Like, that's what I deserve.
Hey, but it's jazz, Larry. It's jazz. It's all about the notes you don't play and the false ones in improvisational jazz, man. That's
to Jay Random.
Jay Random with the devil's tritone. That's the title of this episode, Devil's Tritone. Arg. I stepped all over the intern. She was going to tell you how to call, so I'll do that real quick.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? It's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
And as always, you can do all that, or you can hit us up in Twitch chat or YouTube chat. We get to see both of those. Captain Sandia 24 says hi.
Hello, Captain.
Laugh Attack Jr. says, hey guys. Hey, what's up, Laugh Attack? And as always,
I'm Laugh Attack Senior.
And that's messed up, man. You're saying you're his daddy or her dad?
Hey, take it like you want to.
Jujutsu says, hey guys, too. All right. Look, a little bit of
What up, Jujutsu? What up?
And as always, we have the eponymous Tiger Claw. There never goes an episode where we never mention Tiger Claw. And he says right here, what's up, Fantastic Forum? Did you see episode 5 of What If? Who would have thought Disney Plus was able to get away with showing zombies?
Disney Plus literally has a movie called Zombies. Like, that's the title, Zombies.
Is that really the title? Zombies?
I'm waiting for Zombies 3 to come out. Is how many of these they have.
Yeah,
Are you really waiting for Zombies 3 or
original movies?
I think the world is waiting for it. Jay knows about it.
Jeez. Wow.
It's a delightful musical.
I have not watched What If episode 5 yet. I'm still on the third one.
I haven't either. Oh, dude.
No,
I haven't loved the fourth one.
Yeah, I haven't watched the third one yet. So I just watched the two. But yeah, so I'm excited. I heard more tentacles, yeah,
not
just men's tentacles, but yeah. And so yeah, I got a little spoiled there, so I'm excited about that, which puts Shang-Chi in another perspective. We'll get that to the review. We'll get that to when we do the review. In the meantime, I am Moses Magnum, and I'm gonna start with a little bit of a rant. Something's been in my craw. Last week we did an impromptu Mo deal for Sandman Overture. It was $3.39 if you have Comixology Unlimited, and they screwed me out of that one.
What happened?
It was the day after the show last week was the day that I had to re-up my debit card, and my debit card expired. So Comixology wouldn't take my payment. And it still won't. Even though I went into Amazon, put my new info, everything, for some reason their server hasn't updated, or I don't know if it's how the Kindle works, because the Kindle is the one where I'm buying it, because you can't buy Comixology on any other device other than a PC. But
here's the thing.
I don't have my PC on the toilet when I'm sitting. I have my phone or my iPad. So
That sounds like a personal problem.
Hey, if I'm gonna buy my comics, I'm gonna buy them when I'm on the toilet. I need shit to read while I shit.
You should have a toilet PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it laptops, but that's what they're originally for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, the way you fix that, and I believe you do like the Amazon share thing, right?
Yeah, that's a whole other issue with Amazon. They won't let me add Emily, my beautiful wife, for 180 days.
So what you have to do is you have to delete if you make a charge and it gets denied, Comixology won't accept it again unless you delete your info and then re-enter it.
Is that the ukulele? What was so ominous? What was that? Delete your info. Boom.
It wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I don't. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense, especially when Mr. Bezos has a $500 million contract with the CIA, and I have to put all my information in all these weird steps. Apple don't give me that bullshit. They won't let me buy comics on Comixology, but they won't give me that bullshit.
Hey, we got plenty of helpful people in chat who say, "Look, just give them all your info, and they'll take care of it for you."
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, I'm not falling for that again. That's all games back in the day.
It's like, who do you know that's more reputable than Laugh Attack Jr.?
Like back in all games Chat, back in all games chat, Cowley said she was gonna fix my my credit.
Cowley.
Turned out Cowley was a dude.
Cowley was a dude.
Fooled everybody for 5 years.
The original catfish.
Yeah. Anywho, we're gonna jump into this review real quick. We're gonna start off with Shang-Chi, and I'm gonna play the theme for you. And then right when the theme ends, Jay, man, why don't you tell me? No, Larry, you tell me what it's about. Tell the good people what it's about.
Theater, comic book theater.
All right. So Shang-Chi is the latest movie from Marvel Cinematic Universe, in theaters only. It is the story of Shang-Chi and him trying to get away from basically get away from his life or his previous life under his father's thumb and trying to make a new life for himself in San Francisco. And so he has his friend, which is played by Aquafina. Can't remember the friend's name right now. Good character though, but
Katie.
It's not Katie.
Yeah.
Katie. There it is. And you know, they live in a low key kind of free lifestyle, just doing what they do. And eventually Shang-Chi's past comes back to basically haunt him and disturb his carefree life. And I mean that's the spoiler free trailer version of the story.
That's the elevator pitch.
Listen, I hope that's not the elevator pitch. Like that movie doesn't get made. I promise you that. Like, oh.
So we're not doing spoilers, huh?
Well, look. You all tell me. Like, I don't like. I know for me, like, I personally think like some light ones is fine. But what I will say is this: this is one of the few MCU movies where the trailer doesn't really give away the whole movie. And so it's like, for those that may not have seen it, I would love for them to be able to kind of like actually experience a movie that isn't like pre-spoiled.
I would disagree because the trailers told me a lot about the ending.
I don't think that's true. I know you say that, but
Yeah.
you say that after the fact. I don't think you wouldn't have told me that before the movie.
Like before we start arguing those facts or non-facts, Oz, man, why don't you give me your little mini review of it? What we're gonna promote this episode.
The movie was fine. It's better than Black Widow. And I say this as a compliment. The worst actor in this movie is the main actor. Like anytime he's doing a scene with anybody else, he's overshadowed because there's so much talent in this movie. Even Aquafina, which I'm getting sick of, but even she like just blew him out of the water. But he does really good in the action scenes because you could tell the dude put some work into it. Practicing those, they look good up until the point where they turn into CGI for a few shots. It's CGI that it's gotten better since Black Panther, but it's not quite there. But it's fine. Great looking movie. I have a lot of problems with the script. I think it suffers from lazy writing and a lot of points. And yeah, I don't think it's what it was hyped up to be, but I don't want to say it's a bad movie either.
Okay. All right. Joe, man, why don't you give me your take on the movie, man?
I thought it was pretty good. Like the action was good. I didn't really have that much of a problem with the actors, including the guy playing Shang. And Yeah, I thought it was cool. Like, it was just a really fun movie to me with good action, cool effects.
Nice. Larry, man, what you're the Marvel dude. I mean, Oz, man, get that Mickey Mouse button ready. Let me see. Let me. Larry, he liked it. He was blown away. He didn't think he didn't realize how much he missed about Shang-Chi in the comic.
That's hilarious. No, I mean, I I thought the movie was great, and I mean that in like I did. It didn't look bad. It looked like it was gonna be good, and so I went in with expecting to enjoy it, but what I actually got was way better than I anticipated, in my opinion. Um, and I do agree with Oz in the sense that um, Simu as the lead is the weak link, but he's not bad, and that's the whole thing. Where it's like it's just everybody else is just better, but at the same time, it's like everyone else in the movie are bona fide superstars in the East. So it's like it's not like it's one of those things where it's like if you're like, okay, yeah, I got upstaged, but you got upstaged by like Michael Caine. You know what I mean? You got upstaged by Denzel Washington. It's like no one was expecting you to be better than them, And that's the thing. It's like, dude, like Michelle Yeoh is like killing it in every scene. It's like the dude. I feel bad. I don't know the dude's name, but the guy that plays his father, which is I think they say he's a megastar over in the East, and I think I read it. This was his first like Hollywood picture, I think. And that how it is that this guy hasn't been doing work. Well, I'm obviously he made a choice not to do work over here. But what I'm saying is, like, he's so good. Like this dude, and I feel bad because I didn't mess around and figure his name, but he's so good. So it's like, and almost every other scene is Shang-Chi and his father. So it's like, yeah, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy's he's just amazing. And I'm sure, if you ask Shang-Chi himself, he would tell you the same thing. So but I liked it a lot. I am interested to hear what it is that the issues that you all had with the movie though.
Well, look, let me give you my little take on the film. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
But this is essentially almost a reimagining to a degree of Shang-Chi, because I don't remember a lot of these fantasy type things. I knew there was some, but it's not what I ever read. But either way, I think doing it like this, the way they chose to do it here, was it was a good choice. They made it a little bigger, and they do a better. They tie it to what's potentially coming in the MCU, and they just give them a new, fresh take. I know that a lot of the things like Fu Manchu being in it, like they changed them to that. They got rid of the man per se. And a lot of things are done because of just a little more. I wouldn't even say like racial sensitivity, but something like a little bit more consciousness of what the story you're trying to put forward, because it more or less, even like the fantasy stuff to me was like, oh man, they're making it Asian because they're Asian. It has to be exotic and different in fantasy, but it's not even that. It's more like kind of tying it to the culture a little bit, giving a little bit of that, and overall, I think it was better than what a Shang-Chi movie would have been had they made something similar to what I'm more familiar with.
Yeah.
The rings themselves, I don't like that they're bracelets, but
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, even like the way they are, like the attributes and the power sets that come with them aren't really like what they are in the comics. So for me, it was like a dumbing down of it. But
Yeah.
later on, I mean, it seems like they're kind of going to what they're supposed to be. But this is the origin of the ring, you know, like
Mm,
it's what it seems, you know, in the after credit scenes and whatnot.
The main thing I heard about why they made them like this is they were worried that the way the rings are in the comics would be too close to like the Infinity Stones.
Yeah,
that they just did.
I can see that. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Like it didn't matter in the comics. It didn't matter in the comics. Like it's just as similar there than it is here. In fact, you can actually tell them apart in the comics. You can't tell them apart here. And
I feel like the difference though is that in the comics you have like years and years of continuity to separate the two, you know? And
yeah,
even though the MCU, of course, has been around for like, what is it now? 15 years? Is it
yeah,
15? It's like, you know, it's still like 15 years of comics versus 15 years of comics isn't necessarily that much. Like what we're talking about between the 10 rings and the Infinity Gauntlet is like decades. So it's like, you know, I agree with you though, in the sense that them being I'm not mad at them for not being rings, even though I think that's what I would prefer. But what I was definitely disappointed by was the fact that when even though they decided to make them the, you know, like the fighting rings, which I think is actually a good idea in regards to if you're going to change it, that was a good idea to change it too. But I do think it dropped, like my disappointment in this movie is like the opportunity for those rings to each have individual attributes, and that opportunity not taken, because I feel like visually it could have been more interesting. And that's not to say it's not interesting what we do get, but it's just like
yeah.
it could have been more interesting than what we did get and truer to the comic, you know. And because like the change makes sense to me actually, which is something that I don't say often, you know, where I'm like, oh no, I get why you make that change, but that doesn't mean that each one of those rings couldn't have had like an attribute unto itself, and you don't even have to necessarily explain it. It can just be a thing where you know that, okay, when he uses this ring, he's using it for this particular crowd.
And you know, fan theory time is I think you're gonna get more information out of these and more attributes as time goes on. I think like just this dude, you know, I keep wanting to call him Fu Manchu, but he's not Fu Manchu.
No.
He's Wen Wu or
Yeah.
Wen. But he just found them or whatever, and he just used them for what he wanted to do, you know. You saw like when Shang-Chi started using them, they took on different attributes, more even tied into the martial arts he was using, where that and his initial training, Shang-Chi and the dad's training are more aggressive, straight to the point, killing fighting styles. And what he essentially was learning with his mom and his aunt was more internal, your Tai Chi's, you know, and that's like, because of that, they took on that attribute more on the defensive and on the manipulation of leverage and things like that. But we didn't see enough of that. That as a diverse film as this is, we didn't see diversity in the ring's powers or
Yeah.
abilities. But you know, the thing when it tied to the chick's hand to like create the grip more, you know, that's something that didn't do, you know. And
Right.
so I think we're gonna see more of that.
Honestly, I think these were supposed to be the quantum bands, and they needed somehow to tie it to the name of the organization, the 10 rings. And so it's, well, there's 10 of them. Boom, there we go. These are the 10 rings now. They're the quantum rings.
I mean, but go ahead, Jay.
Real quick, we have a question in chat. They're asked, Alfonso Ceja is asking, do they acknowledge the Ben Kingsley Mandarin in the movie?
Yeah,
Not only do they acknowledge it, he's in it.
and he apologizes for it. Spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. I mentioned this last week before we saw the movie
Yeah, but nobody listens to us.
because the trailer spoiled it.
The fight scenes were really good. I really enjoyed even the CGI ones.
So good.
My favorite one was the one with the sister in the cage because that reminded me of me and my sister. Like I just identify with that so much. But yeah, but the rest of them, the dragon scales and all that was a little too Narnia-y for me, but it worked. It worked. The one on the bus was fucking tight.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of good shit. A lot of good shit in it.
It was definitely a thing for me where in my mind I was like, how are they gonna like up the martial art cred? Because it's like like obviously MCU has their their fight choreographers and whatnot, and they're good. The fights are good already, but it's like when you're talking about somebody's like a master of kung fu, it's like I need this dude. Like I need him to fight different than the people that we've seen previous. And I'm like, that's something I went into the movie looking for, and yeah, they delivered. They definitely delivered.
First thing you got to do is not get the people from Iron Fist.
Dude, the fights in Iron Fist are underrated. Man. They really are.
Some are better than others.
I'm not saying they're all.
Yeah. Season 1 is. I think we all agree. Season 1 of Iron Fist is the worst one. And I think season 2 they get better, but that at that point they have a season, they have Defenders out of the way. I think when they did Defenders, they got the stunt coordinators from Daredevil to come in and kind of show them, hey, this is why you're stupid, and then they fix that. So season 2 of Iron Fist is a little bit better because they learned why they're dumb. But
I mean, Shang-Chi's way better.
This 10 Rings though, like this organization is dumb, right? Like we all agree on that.
A little.
Why?
Like
what's wrong with them?
It's they're gonna go into battle. Why does nobody have a gun? Like they got these like electrical bladed weapons where like a couple of semi-automatics would have like it's a horrible terrorist organization. Like they have no explosives, no real guns.
They were a bit more efficient when Al Qaeda took them over.
Yeah, actually, you know what? The fake Mandarin was way more efficient than. Look, this guy has had these rings for however long he's had them, and has failed to conquer the world. Like I understand the reasons why modern times he did nothing, but like that this organization should be more than what it is in this movie. I'm being very careful because I'm trying not to spoil. I don't understand why Shang-Chi was picked to be a successor, because at the point that happens, if you're immortal, why do you need a successor? Like why are you planning for a successor that's not immortal? You're immortal, your son isn't. You're going to live for thousands of years. He's going to live for maybe 70, 80, something like that. What? Like, that doesn't make sense.
It was a plan to pass them down.
But it wasn't, because at that point he had taken him up again. He was immortal again. See, that training for Shang-Chi should have been when the dad is semi-retired. Like that makes sense. Okay, he's preparing his son to be what he was. But once he's taken up the rings again and he's regained his immortality and he's unstoppable, why? Why? He's gonna live for thousands of years. He can make more kids. And that sounds a little harsh, but they imply in the movie that he doesn't really care that much about his kids, especially the females.
Like, no spoilers, but that's his arc. Like he learns to care about his kids.
It's true.
The how the sister like ends up being like a badass martial artist makes absolutely no sense. Like no sense. There's a way that could have been done where it would have made her story a little bit better, especially why like the reason she gets away from her father is dumb, and with like a couple little tweaks, her being a badass makes more sense, and her leaving would have more impact, and her not wanting to come back kind of like it makes the character a little bit deeper. But it's just, I don't know, I had a lot of issues with this.
The way she badass is the same way Splinter does. It's like, how is that dumb?
What's that? I missed that.
Splinter watched his master in the rat cage.
Right.
Okay, that's dumb too.
No, how dare you, son of...
What you're saying is she needed mutagen.
Yeah, Splinter had mutagen. There you go.
But he was doing the martial arts before the mutagen.
Well, it's not
true. In the rat cage.
Look, if you need the mutagen to make you a hero, then you don't deserve it. Isn't that what Uncle Ben said?
Right.
The rice guy?
Iron Ben said that, I believe.
Yeah, but that's the MCU Uncle Ben. Like, that's when Spider-Man, like, that's his loss that he has to live up to, have the chip on his shoulder for the rest of his life. You don't give a fuck about Uncle Ben. You give a fuck about Uncle Tony.
Yeah, and I mean the dad looking for Kung Lung, trying to get there.
Of that place.
It might as well be. It's the same thing.
No, this is a Nexus gate. Like, Kunlun isn't a Nexus gate.
One's a mystical realm, and the other one is an other dimensional realm.
It's a mystical realm with a dragon in it.
Right, but it's a pocket universe in and of itself.
So's Kung Lung.
It's technically like on the Asgard tree, right? Is that what it is there?
I mean,
it's like one of those like god realms.
It's right next to Nibelheim.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
Well, it's in the areola ring.
Oh my god.
It's realm 5.2.
Wait, what? I missed that one.
Realm 36D.
Oh,
Yeah, you have Kung Lung, Tao Ro or Tao Lo, whatever that is, Nibelheim, and wherever the He Who Remains was at the end of that show. Like that's the plane of existence there, and it's all surrounded by a giant cock ring that was shattered by when Sylvie came in and made it hard.
Yeah.
Joe,
why don't you tell me what
inch ring?
Jay, why don't you tell me what issues you have aside? Because I let Oz talk too much.
My issues, I don't actually have like issues. Like I thought everything kind of just went really well. Yeah, like no real issues for me. Like I wouldn't call it the perfect movie experience, but I really did enjoy everything. The fighting I thought was great. The scaffolding fight.
Yeah.
Cool. I even like the Wong fight. Him against Abomination was actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like the short amount of time it was on. And yeah, like I didn't have a problem with the acting. Aquafina wasn't annoying. Yeah, like I thought it was good. Like everything was really well done. Like not too many missteps, except the rings. Like, and I will admit, at first I did not realize they were supposed to be the Mandarin's rings. Like until you mentioned it.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Right. And then that actually did start to bother me. But I get it. But yeah, like honestly, there's just not a lot wrong with this movie. It's really fun. I think it's interesting that it's not. It feels like a little separated from the MCU. So like you kind of like a street level, like it feels like a street level hero doing his thing. That yes, eventually it does end up having like kind of a world saving aspect, but it is nice to get away to get to these like more street level heroes having big movies instead of just being relegated to like Netflix shows.
And that's kind of how I felt watching it, where I was like, oh, it's got to go all fantastical because it's exotic and easy. But it, if it would have just stayed street level, it wouldn't have been such a big story. It would have been essentially like a Netflix show or ABC show, which is not what I would have enjoyed as much. Seeing the nature of the MCU moving forward, like I think it was good to do it this way.
Real quick, I feel like I need to point out that Aquafina didn't annoy me specifically in this movie, just in general overall, because I've just been seeing her a lot. It's a personal thing. I'm just seeing her too much where it's getting on my nerves that I'm watching something new and there's Aquafina. But I'm not saying she's bad. Like I said, she's better than the main actor in this thing. So it's not her doing anything other than it's just me. That's all me. That's a personal issue. Not she's fine in this movie. She's better than the main dude. And
they have to take her on the adventure. And
she's so good. She's so much better than the main dude. Like, they have to pair him up. Like Shang-Chi is not going to be by himself ever, because him by himself is not going to work. He needs somebody that's good next to him.
I hope they do something where they show him training Spider-Man.
That'd be cool.
Like, even if it's just a little, like, when they're prepping for the shit, and he's like, look, I gotta teach you how to throw a punch because you got that spider strength, but you don't know where to hit or how to hit, like that.
Yeah, your technique sucks.
Yeah, that, like, I remember in the comics, like, that was one of my favorite shit ever, because it's like, wow, spider food.
Yeah, that was very cool. It's very cool. And I think honestly, I think he'll fit in really well with the rest of the MCU Avengers. But that's me, I say that in what I imagine the next set of Avengers, like who they're going to be and what they're going to interact like.
I mean, in the comics, he's been paired up with almost everybody at this point. So
but I will say he joined a really strong Avengers team in the comics. Like, you had like everyone that when you think about, at least when I thought about an Avengers team, just about everybody I thought about was in that team, and then Shang-Chi too. And then it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm not like, you can't go wrong there. Like if you add Shang-Chi to Thor, Cap, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, it's like, Vision, you're not gonna, like, it doesn't matter if Shang-Chi's there or not. It's just an additional, it's a bonus, you're like, oh, and Shang-Chi, that's cool.
See,
but
that's the thing. Like those superpowered dudes in one team, you could say the same thing about Black Widow, and they made her work. I mean, she went at Thanos' army with a stun gun at one point.
No, but I think that in my mind, that's completely different just from a historical comic.
Yeah.
But like an Avengers standpoint, like if you read Avengers,
I'm talking. Are you? If you're talking comics, then that's totally different.
Well, no, that's what I was talking. I was talking comics.
I'm not used to talking comics because it's 2021. Who reads?
Yeah, comics? No, I'm talking comics, and so it's like, obviously in the MCU, like if we're talking MCU, you're not gonna get Thor, Cap, Iron Man. Well, you're gonna get Sam Wilson's Captain America, but you're not gonna get an Iron Man. Maybe you get Jane Foster Thor, but I don't know. Like I'm not convinced that Natalie Portman is going to sign up to do a whole bunch of Avengers movies. So like I do feel like the next set of Avengers is going to be a team closer to the people that we saw, you know, like like what was that? That was in the end game, was it? What movie was that? Where they're all at the Avengers campus?
That was
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember, but you know, it's like you're gonna get like the Doctor Stranges, and
I think
like
unless they kill off Natalie Portman's character in Love and Thunder, I think she'll be back. Because these people, like they sign Disney contracts in blood. I mean, Ben Kingsley, they dragged him back out for Shang-Chi.
No, but Natalie, I'm not saying Natalie Portman won't do multiple movies. I think she will do multiple movies.
They got to.
I don't.
Thor will be back. Thor will be back after. She will not be Thor past Love and Thunder.
You don't think so?
No.
She might. They might. Like she might be.
I don't think so.
The Beta Ray Bill of the group because they don't.
I don't.
Ray Bill.
Look, they're gonna have a Beta Ray Bill already.
No, but
no,
it's gonna be her. She's gonna be worthy enough, and they're gonna give her own hammer.
See, I think that Natalie Portman might do more than one Thor movie, in my opinion, and that doesn't mean that Chris Hemsworth isn't going to be in it. It's just that she'll be the Thor. She'll be Thor, and so he can still be in it. I don't know that either one of them are going to be in an Avengers movie. They might be, but I think it's right now it feels less likely that we'll have a Thor on an Avengers team in the MCU. So I'm not counting on that. It doesn't feel like that's the trajectory to me. Like after I see the first movie, then yeah, I might feel completely different. But that's not the direction things feel like they're going to me. So I think that the Avengers team that we have is going to be a different kind of Avengers team. So that's why I'm like Shang-Chi on that team. Like, who knows? Like that might work, but we'll have to see what happens, like how everybody comes together and what that looks like after the fact.
The only way you don't have Thor in the next Avengers team is if they go Young Avengers.
That's not.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Huh? It's like why?
It's going to be its own separate team, its own separate movie.
Yeah.
Regular Avengers, you're going to have a Thor, whether it's Hemsworth or Portman. Like they dragged her ass back for Endgame, and then she realized she signed a contract, so now she's doing Love and Thunder. Like they got her. Like her soul's Mephisto's taking her soul. Like she's in it for the long haul at this point because that's what Disney rolls.
Was the scene in Endgame?
Was new? She shot that for.
Oh
Endgame.
yeah.
It wasn't like they took unused footage.
Used footage. Oh okay. Like yeah, I didn't realize that was new. Like I'm like
she laid there all like She didn't. I didn't say she worked hard. I'm just saying that was her. Right, they got her.
Okay.
Before we go into, go ahead, man.
Tiger Claw Chat says also Jane Foster's Thor in the movie will more than likely not follow the one they did in the comics. So expect some sort of deviation. Like for example, they're probably not going to do the cancer part.
Well, no, she actually walks up to the hammer. She's not like bedridden like in the comics.
Like, in the comics, you didn't know it was Jane Foster for like 3 months.
Now I hope they do the.
You know why? You know why that is, right? Because that's the Shazam thing where like they switch bodies. So she became an Asgardian looking being, not Natalie Portman cosplaying Thor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So just by virtue of them telling you that Jane Foster will be Thor and Natalie Portman's playing Thor, like it's not like the comics.
Yeah.
But before we go into the ratings, before we go into the ratings, Larry, you got any gripes with the movie? Was it bad at any point? I know it wasn't because it's Disney.
No. I mean, the gripe, like I said before, was that I felt like it was a missed opportunity. It felt like the Nova Core thing all over again with the rings not having individual attributes.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that would have been visually interesting. It would have, and don't get me wrong, like I mean, I get like you only have so much time, and I think that I can understand somebody feeling like, oh well, we don't want to take the time to explain that. I don't know that you need to. I don't know that you can just let it do what it does, and we can talk about it at a later date, and we will be okay because it's not like they explained to us exactly what they were doing in this movie anyway, right? So that was one gripe I had, and then the other gripe is along the lines of what you were talking about, I guess, Mo. Um, you mentioned the dragon scales and the like shock batons and stuff. It's like I'm over the whole one side has one color and another side has another color thing. Like the dragon scale weaponry stuff, I actually liked and thought was good, and would have wanted that to stay in the movie. The other side having like their like blue weapons, it's like you don't need any of that to me. And I understand that that's become a thing, like it's an MCU kind of thing. They did it in Black Panther, right, with
Yeah.
the two different Black Panther suits and all that kind of stuff. And
But
I get
it kind of made sense because you have two similar looking characters fighting each other. You have to differentiate.
yeah, it makes a bit more sense. But honestly, I think that that's why they do it all across the board. Where I think they're like, we're going to be having these fights, and we want people to be able to tell who the good guys are, who the bad guys are, and where the bad guys' hands are versus where the good guys' hands are, and it's to make it simpler for the audience, and it's just like I don't know if it needs to be that simple. Like I feel like there's probably a better way to do that if you want to, and I think that it's just that we've gotten stuck in that convention, unfortunately. And it's like to me, it's like it feels at this point, it feels a little bit out of place. Like there was other points where it's like okay, like I think I can think back to like say First Avenger, Captain America, the First Avenger, and like all of the Hydra folks had like energy weapons or whatever. But that's written into the plot to a degree. And they don't have to glow like they do, but it's like okay, like I can give that a pass at that moment in time, when we're talking about what is that, 3 or 4 movies in.
Right.
It's like, but at this point it's kind of like we have to figure out a better way to do this. It's like there's no good reason for it to be like, okay, it's the reds versus the blues.
And
so
the gripe that I had even though I did enjoy this movie and it had a lot of new stuff brought to the table as far as the
Mhm.
MCU goes, it still felt a little cookie cutterish for MCU. Like the villain and the hero knowing each other, having history together.
Mhm.
The Yeah, it's just stuff like that. The funny person on the side, and that's
Mhm.
tropey. That's tropey almost anything really. So
Mhm.
you kind of it works well here and it works well everywhere. That's why people keep you. If it didn't work well, we would have
Right.
using it. Um, but that's one of the things. But it's definitely by no means like a lazy movie.
No, I
Um,
don't think so
it
either.
does fit the mold. It's like I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a UCLA extension class filmmaking the Marvel way. Like there was
Right. Right.
Marvel way back in the day.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
but yeah. Oz, were you gonna say something before I cut you off and put Larry to talk?
Probably, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. In that case, let's get back. Let's move forward to the ratings, man. Jay, what would you rate this film?
I think I would rate it a 4 out of 5. It was fun, good action. The rings are too big. Overall, a good time, I think.
Okay. Oz, what would you rate this film?
3.5. You know, give it a month and a half. Watch it for free on Disney Plus. I'm assuming it's going to be free. I'd hate to think that they charge you $30 after it's been 45 days or however long the thing is. But it's worth watching. It's a fun time and amazing actors around the main character. So yeah, well worth watching.
Larry, give us a rating for this fine piece of cinema.
Cinema. I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5. Like, dude, especially like it's one of these things where it's a superhero martial arts action epic, dude. It's like it's great. I think that if you like any one of those things, you'll probably like this movie. If you like all those things, and that's a thing where that's a category that I fall into. Like I love martial arts movies, I love superhero movies, I love Marvel, and it's like okay, like and like I said, I went into it with I won't say I won't say high expectations, but I thought it was going to be good, and it ended up being even better than I expected. So yeah, like I said, got a few things that I definitely would have liked to have seen change and be different, but all in all, great time, 4.5.
As for me, it's a 4. I know last week I reviewed it preemptively at 3.5 just based on the rings. But the movie was actually better than I thought it would be, and but it still wouldn't get more than a 4 because I do think the apologism for Mandarin is something that I understand. I don't think you should get rid of a character like the Mandarin. There's no space for him in the MCU right now, like the more mystical Iron Man. I think that would be an interesting character to bring along to an MCU or a TV show or something. But just totally discounting him because of the mustache and the name, and is a disservice to the MCU. But yeah, 4 out of 5 for me.
Cool.
Jay, man, why don't you? We're gonna move along to Mortal Kombat, and what's the name of this? Battle for the Realm, or
Battle of the Realms.
Battle of the Realms? That's what it is.
Yes.
Why don't you summarize that for the good people at home?
All right. So, Mortal Kombat Battle of the Realms takes place a few months after Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge. It basically Outworld has been attacking Earth, and eventually they decide to have one more Mortal Kombat, winner take all, no more contests, no more 10 wins, just have like the final contest and fight it out for the fate of all the realms.
Okay. Now,
and Ultra Instinct Shaggy just like kicked the shit out of Scorpion.
Well, since we're on you right now, man, why don't you tell us your little first impressions of this animated film?
Overall, I liked it, but there are some oddities, I think. Especially when it comes to like characters using special moves, they don't really do that, which I thought is kind of weird, and it really like stands out when you have some characters do their moves and others just don't. And I thought that was weird, and also the thing with the big bad at the end. Like, it's not that it comes out of nowhere. It just doesn't feel like it adds to the story. It just kind of extends it for another 5 minutes. And yeah, that it comes off as a little weird. And Also, I think the fights in this one aren't as good. Granted, they have more of them in this, but in Scorpion's Revenge, like all the fights felt and looked amazing.
Mhm.
And here, it just gets a little generic.
And they're a lot shorter too, right?
Right, they are shorter, and that is to say that not to say that I had a bad time watching. Like it was still good. Um, just it could have been a lot better, and there are definitely things Scorpion's Revenge does a lot better than this movie does.
Okay. Larry, man, why don't you give us your first impression?
My first my first impression was it's interesting. It's an interesting movie. I did like it, and I think I liked it more so just because I felt like it got a bit deeper into the Mortal Kombat lore, and that's something that I like. You know, um, I do agree and did think while I was watching it, like I felt like the animation wasn't as good as the last movie, which I
Well,
thought was strange.
that's saying something.
Yeah, which I thought was strange because I was like, you did the last movie already, like why? Like, and I think that is directly reflected in what Joe was saying in regards to like the fights. I felt like some of the fights weren't as well animated, well choreographed, well executed um as Revenge of Scorpion. So that was a little disappointing, but overall the story I actually really did enjoy, and I liked. Um, yeah, I liked the course of events. I enjoyed watching. I just it just felt like it could have been executed at a little bit of a higher level if they wanted to, and I think that's more so the idea, where it's like I kind of felt like I saw what they did beforehand, and if I saw that you did better previously when you have your second outing, and I'm like, oh, like I know that this could be like taken up a notch. That is disappointing. So yeah, but all in all, I thought it was good.
Oz, give us your first impression.
I agree with the other two. The animation felt like it was either lazy or rushed. Hard to tell.
Mhm.
Like it feels like there's times, especially with the opening, like it gets better the further in that you go. But it's like in the opening, sometimes it feels like there's frames missing. Like they skip some stuff.
Mhm.
But the story itself is great. My issue is I need somebody to explain to me Mortal Kombat.
That's exactly what these are for.
Well, I mean, the way I understand it is Outworld wants to take over our world. And before they can do that, they have to win the Mortal Kombat tournament. That was
10 times in a row.
however many times. If they haven't won it, they can't do it. Right? Well, this movie opens with Outworld invading Earth, even though they say we just won the Mortal Kombat tournament and there shouldn't be one for like 1,000 years. So it doesn't make sense. Wow, how are they being taken over? I thought they weren't allowed. So how would one more tournament stop that if apparently dude can just jump into Earth and send his armies to take it over?
It's rules of engagement. He's not following those, so at that point they have to like do an actual war and risk losing.
Oh, so if they win Mortal Kombat, then they don't.
They just have free reign. Yeah,
but
at least that's what I take.
If Earth wins Mortal Kombat, they still have to defend themselves.
Yeah,
like okay. See, I thought the rules were Outworld can't take over any world that they haven't beaten in Mortal Kombat.
Here, but
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like the rules are like it, like the rules themselves are like just random rules, right? Like why the elder gods allowed this to happen this particular way, who knows? But the skirmishes,
people, you know.
but the skirmishes generally, at least from my understanding, like when they send some guys from Outworld into Earth Realm to go and like mess some stuff up, a lot of that more so is like, oh, let's see if we can catch some of these fighters slipping and maybe like kill a champion or something like that. And then when the tournament comes,
yeah, but this movie opens with a full-blown army.
That's true.
Which, by the way, this army, and this is more than the platoon, dude. It's a lot.
Yeah.
By the way, this army is like getting messed up by like 6 dudes.
Yeah, it's true.
Like
but they're Earthrealm champions. Earthrealm champions.
Yeah, no, I get it, and the writers do something that just like really got on my nerves, man. It's that opening.
We'll get in the gripe section.
Okay. All right.
As for my first impression, I agree with the three of you, except for the fact that the animation doesn't get better. They still do it's like they didn't listen to our last review. They still do the weird thing where the knuckles look all black and like that. And that I don't like. It's definitely like it's shot. Animation usually is Joe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but something around 18 frames per second to 24. This looks like it's at 12 frames per second. And it works for like Ridley Scott when he's doing these action scenes. They look all jarring, but he uses them for little sequences. This is the way they do things, and then it doesn't get better. We just get used to it. And then the story itself, it like Larry said, it expounds on a little bit of the lore, which is cool until you get to like the big bad and the convergence and all that. Like, why bother with a tournament if you can just get the key and those little amulet things? So,
but those are two different things, though.
Right.
That's was trying to destroy the world. Like he was just trying to destroy everything.
Yeah,
not take anything over.
I get it. It would have been better to make a movie of one over the other, like the games did that. Like Shaolin Monks and Mortal Kombat 7. Yeah.
No, and that's definitely I think more than a fair criticism. Where you're like, if what you're saying is, hey, maybe that should have been its own movie, I could totally see that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the games, I think they do separate them. Like, because I feel like one of those, one of those stories is like the Deadly Alliance, I think, and then the other story is Deception. Like Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, and the other one is Mortal Kombat Deception, I believe. But no, that's not true, because I think Deception has I can't remember what's old boy's name, the Dragon King, Onaru, is that his name? Something like that. But so it's not the exact story, but it is that kind of thought process. Yeah, and you could have separated them, but here's the thing: if you separate those stories, then you don't get all the characters in it, and that's I think one of the things that I kind of appreciated about this movie was there was a point where I was like, oh, they're gonna try to force like Scorpion onto this team of champions to be like fighting so that so he could be in the movie, and they didn't do that. They're like, no, Scorpion has his own kind of story that's going on, and that involves Sub-Zero, and that's where you get Cyrax and Sector, and it's like, and that's where friggin' Shinnok hangs out, and it's like, okay, this is like a whole parallel story that's its own thing, but at the end they kind of converge, because it's like, well, if you let the whole world get destroyed, then and it's like it all makes sense why all this converges, because then all the realms are coming together, and so everyone's in the same place technically, because there's only one realm at that moment. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Like this works for me.
That's where I was with it, where it's like you say it's like Deadly Alliance and Deception, and for me it also felt like Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like, it's just like that they for me it was like a more streamlined way of explaining the transition between 2 and 3. And I enjoyed that a lot. And like you said, the two parallel stories converging at the end. I was with it. I was with it until the big bad convergence fight battle and protecting people happened within 5 minutes of each other, where I was like, oh my god, is this like for like 30 seconds? I was like, man, are they gonna give me an HBO Max like series about what it's like for these champions to protect the planet like during this?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even with the shitty animation. You know?
Right.
I went to the last Mortal Kombat, the Scorpion's Revenge, and this, with the same thing, like, oh, the animation's shitty, and all right, and then by the end, I'm like, oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and then here,
Yeah.
that too, until like the big epic battle was like 5 minutes. I think it would have merited like a nice season of like, finding other champions, seeing other characters, living in this new converged world, and
Yeah.
And we
No, the movie definitely. I mean, the movie runs. What is it, like 79 minutes, something like that? And it's like, technically speaking, you could have done like just under 2 hours, and the second part of it could have been like the realms converged and more in that realm and whatnot. And yeah, like I know that that's part of what I was saying too, right? I think that it felt rushed at the last part, or oh no, who said that? I'm sorry, I don't remember who said that. It felt like, oh, Jay, I think you said that actually. You said that it felt like it was just like an added on just to extend the movie an extra like 5 or 10 minutes. And
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I can definitely see how it could feel that way considering how much time they spend with that. And, it's like, that feels like that fight could be longer. But even the way they ended up doing it, it's kind of like, it's okay. Like, it's like, at least for me, it was all right. Like, I wouldn't have been mad, though, at your idea, Mo, with HBO Max miniseries of, the champions defending innocence in the merged realm.
Yeah, you would have been mad.
I would have? Oh, okay.
I know you. Jay, what did you like most about this one? I know we reviewed the first one. Link up here. Click here to watch that review. But what did you like most about this one, and kind of compare it to what you thought of the first one?
What did I like most? Like,
Gotcha.
I think what I liked most is that it was a coherent story. I don't know if any of you remember Annihilation.
Awesome.
That, like, I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so random and so terrible. And, in this one, they have characters and we don't know a lot about them, but at the same time, it's like they kind of just do their thing and then they go away. It doesn't feel intrusive like it could have. So I guess what I like about this is that it wasn't bad. Like, it had the potential to be.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we can all agree that most Mortal Kombat movies aren't great.
Yeah, like they don't need to be. Like we talked about this when when the HBO Max like live action came out, the most recent one, and it's like, yeah, I don't expect Mortal Kombat to be, the Deer Hunter, but I do want a certain level of standards, or
Yeah, absolutely.
because the games are good, and the games unfortunately don't tell you enough of the lore as I would like. And these movies seem to do a little bit of that, and I appreciate that. I think that's what I like the most out of this. And I did like the whole back and forth with Johnny Cage and Sonya. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was nice.
Stryker got killed like fairly quick. I thought that was cool. Not that I have anything against Stryker, but it's just I just liked how that went down.
Joel McHale did a real good job. It didn't sound like him.
It's
Stryker wasn't McHale.
Huh?
Stryker wasn't McHale.
I didn't say Stryker was McHale.
Oh, we were talking about Stryker. You said McHale did a good job. So.
I said Joel McHale did a really good job. I understand that Stryker was being brought up at the same time, but I'm not saying he was Stryker. He was Johnny Cage.
I just want Matthew Mercer to get his due. Dude is amazing.
Should we cancel this movie for yellow facing? Because there's a lot of people doing Asian voices that aren't Asian, and I know that's the thing now.
Which absolutely.
I thought it was just Scorpion. Was there?
No, Liu Kang was like Paul Rodriguez or somebody.
Paul Rodriguez.
Man.
Yeah, it was like a Hispanic dude doing Liu Kang, and all the Asian dudes just look white like the other dudes, but that's just art style, I think. But yeah, I can't find the dude's name, the Hispanic dude that played Liu Kang. But in the meantime, Oz, man, why don't you tell me what you like most about this?
What I liked about it? Oh man, jeez, caught me off guard.
Dig deep into that brain of yours.
If I dig deep enough, I'm gonna drown in alcohol. Story, I guess I had a lot of problems with the animation and the art style, but the story was enough to keep me watching. If it wasn't, like, I would have been done after the first 20 minutes. I would have, okay, I've seen enough. I can talk about this, whatever. But it kept me, I wanted to keep watching. And that's good storytelling. A lot of problems with the movie, a lot of problems with the art, a lot of problems with the animation. And I guess there's a section where we're going to talk about that. And if we're just talking about what I like, it's a good story. It's the story by itself is worth the watch for this.
What are we looking at?
Is that the Latino dude?
Yeah, that's
that guy's Latino.
Yeah, Jordan Rodriguez. He's Australian.
Italian?
No, Australian. I'm pretty sure it's an Asian person. Or a person of Asian descent, I should say.
He's probably Filipino.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll allow it. No cancellation.
Close enough, huh?
Yeah. Hey, look, it's the best of both worlds. Like, his people were fucked over by the Spanish, just like the Mexicans. So he's like Mexican, but he's also Asian because his ancestors got fucked over by the Chinese too. So, yeah. So yeah, it's the best of both worlds. Look, let's go into the criticism, man. What's the worst part of this for you guys? Start with Liz, man. Go ahead.
Rodriguez's parents are Malaysian, so yeah.
Oh, there's Asian and Malaysian.
it's a general area. We're good. We're good.
It's Far East.
Like they escaped poverty or what? Like, I don't know. I'm sure Malaysia is dealing with something, or at least when his parents left it to go to Australia and find opportunity, and good for them. Now their son's bringing in cash.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
I want your harshest criticism of this. What's the worst part of this experience for you?
Oh, the art was ass.
Yeah.
I hate that they don't know how to, or I guess refuse to shade, where like the shadows are like just hard shadows. So everybody looks like their knuckles have like these like squares on them, and it's like some characters might as well be a tiger stripe on them. The way the shadows are drawn was really distracting. Story wise, now I thought when I first saw this that this would be my thing, but it bugged me in the opening scene with so when Stryker shows up and he's wielding what looks like a standard issue police Glock, and it's just fully automatic, like he's just mowing down 100 rounds a second coming out of this thing, never runs out of ammo, and that was bugging me. I was like, oh, okay, so it must be a mystical Glock or something. Like they just don't understand guns. But then it becomes a plot point that they run out of ammo. Like, and I'm like, well, what? Like, so yeah, there's the art and animation are my biggest gripes. A few minor story issues, but like I said, the story was, other than that, it was great and worth the watch. So yeah, that's I guess just the art and animation really is what bugged me.
Larry, man, why don't you give me your biggest criticism? What did you hate most about it?
Definitely the animation. Like I just felt like it wasn't as good as the last movie, which is unfortunate because it does that. Like, the last movie has that. We talked about the art style of the last movie when we reviewed the last movie, and this has like all of the negatives of that art style, but less of the positives of it, which is a sucky place to be. And then outside of that, I would say, even though this might be consistent with Mortal Kombat lore, I just don't like. I have a hard time believing that like Sector and Cyrax can take Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Like that they'll be given so much problems. It's like, I get it. They're cybernetic ninjas, and that's hardcore.
It's
Huh?
Smoke you're okay with. It's Scorpion and Sub-Zero that bug you.
That they can take Smoke.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I mean, honestly, I don't feel like
they imply Smoke taught this Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I don't feel like Smoke really should be taken as much either. But at the same time, Smoke I feel is a little bit more ambiguous. But Sub-Zero and Scorpion, I'm just like, I don't know. Should they be able to like they're a big problem for those guys in this movie.
I would
And
also.
I'm not saying that they can't be a problem, but a big problem. Like I'm like, they had Scorpion basically running scared from the three of them.
I think important to point out that Scorpion and Sub-Zero outlast those two. So
That's true.
Technically, Scorpion and Sub-Zero saved like 5 rounds, including Lung and Tao Ro.
Wait, why only 5? Wait, what? You are so silly.
And Niflheim.
First of all, there's 6 rounds in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but Outworld is the 6th, and they all became part of Outworld. So I say 5 outer, even though Outworld has out in it. You see how the whole mythos is just like it's. By the way, Jordan Rodriguez, I'm looking at his wiki, which isn't big, but I just found it funny that occupation, 3 things: actor, okay, dancer, makes sense, builder. There's nothing on here that, like there's nothing like there's no like carpentry or like what the hell is he building? Like is he just Christian? So Christ was a
he built the soul.
No, I just had carpenter. Like I was literally thinking carpenter as I was saying that sentence, and it just flew away.
Yeah.
I digest.
Chairs. That's a specialty. Chairs.
Jay, man, what'd you hate the most out of this?
I don't know that there was anything I hated the most. Just all those things that I mentioned earlier just kind of bugged me. Not really anything I just hated the most. I mean, Yeah, it just kind of sucks that it wasn't better.
Right. Because it could have
Like,
been.
and I know when I originally like watched the two back to back. So I watched Scorpion's Revenge and then immediately watched Battle for the Realms. And you can see just like that kind of accentuates like how much it's kind of lacking. And I did watch it again on its own. Better experience, but there's still a lot lacking. And yeah, like there's nothing that made me mad, just disappointed.
Okay.
Yeah, he went all like father. Like I'm not mad.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
disappointed.
Right.
And
Like,
he's
there's
like he practically hit that brown note on that ukulele too when he said it.
there it is. It's like there's one of the animators is listening to this review right now that he just shed a tear. He's like,
Like, he's tying a scarf to the other side of the door at the doorknob.
I mean, if he shed a tear, it's because he's handcuffed to his desk, but it's a whole another issue.
yeah.
The art in here is something I did not like. The shading
Mhm.
issue with the knuckles. I hate those fucking knuckles.
Yeah.
The actual comic art style, there was a cartoon that did, I can't remember. It was on WB, and it might have, I forget they did this thing where when they draw like facial hair, it's just like a square, like for the little soul patch, and it's just a square. And when you see like there, he was a comic art too, where like the hair on your arms were just little squares. And I'm trying to look for the guy that drew that style, and he was a Hispanic dude. I think he was Mexican, and he might have drawn a couple issues of Crimson, like a variant or a backup story. And I can't find it. And there was a cartoon that did that style, and it worked. Granted, it was network television, and this style reminds me of that, but doing it wrong. And
Mhm.
like when I was watching it, I'm like, you know what? If this was a comic, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 5, even with the rush big bad ending. Because granted, it probably would have been a 4 or 5 issue book, yeah,
Mhm.
series. But as a piece of animated work, I really enjoyed the story, so it's a 3.7 for me. That's what I hated the most, and I'm rating it at the beginning here because that's all I'm going to say about this. I don't think I could say anything more. I enjoyed what I enjoyed, and what I didn't like kept me from enjoying
Mhm.
it more. And with that, I'm gonna get Larry. Man, why don't you rate this for me?
Dude, I think your score is the perfect score. 3.5 3.75.
All right.
Like, wait, that's not what you said though. I think that's what you meant, right? Did you say 3.57?
No, I meant 3.57.
Oh, okay. Then maybe you know what? I'm gonna stand by my statement and then
Yeah.
go with 3.57.
You know me,
Because
I never admit to error.
okay, but I just it's just one of those things where there's a lot that I liked about it, but there's definitely things wrong with it, and as much as I would love to give it like a 4, I can't do that. It is probably like it's somewhere between 3.5 and 4, definitely. So that's what I say.
Oz, man, why don't you give me a rating for this?
I'm gonna disagree with both of you and give it a 3.13 because it's not worthy of a pie.
3.3.
It's worth like if you can watch it without paying anything extra, then yeah, like I wouldn't get any. What the hell is this on? What is it?
Prime, I think.
Blu-ray, digital,
Yeah, it's
Blu-ray and digital, basically.
like a buy rent
Video on
situation.
demand, not like a streaming
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, somebody always streams them though. Like there's always, whether it's Hulu or Amazon, somebody always streams these straight to Blu-ray things.
I'm assuming the first place it would go would be HBO Max, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, okay, and that's my whole point is I wouldn't buy this Blu-ray, but if you have HBO Max or whatever service has it and it pops up, yeah, I'd check it out for sure. It's definitely worth watching. It's a good story. It's just crappy art and animation, but I don't think most people care about that because it's not horrible. It's bad to us because we're kind of snobby, like we're perfectionists, and we care about things that most people don't. So, if you're a regular person, yeah, check it out. It's fun.
Go make concessions for that. They come to us for our. They come to us because they don't want the regular person.
Right. If you look, that's why you come to us, because if we praise something, it's good.
Yeah, and
something like this that we have issues with, but we're still telling you, what, check it out. That's telling you how good the story is. That I got over my issues of the crappy art and animation, which is a big deal for me. So check it out. But I'm not going to tell you pay money for it. If you have the subscription, then yeah, just fucking click the button, waste an hour or two, make some popcorn.
No, not 2. Hour 19.
Well, I mean, if you're, streaming service and chill.
Oh, gotcha.
It's going to be like a good, 20 minutes, half an hour.
Go to the bathroom, make a sandwich, stuff like that. Gotcha.
Right. Take a sandwich, put it on her back.
Why should you have to be at the table?
Well, because I can't describe the position because we're on YouTube right now.
Got it.
You're both in a position where you can both watch the television.
Yeah, I don't think we've cussed this episode at all, so we might get monetized.
Oh no, we have. You have. I have? Yeah, when you curse, it's like how some people say So you but it's happened.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
Jay, man, why don't you give us a fucking rating on this motherfucker?
I would like to give it a 4, but I cannot. It's gonna get a 3. I like the story. There are definitely things worth watching here, but this should have been better. It could have been better. We've seen them do better. So yeah, I'm gonna say 3.
All right. Now I'm not gonna tally up the averages here, but I want, as far as epic Asian martial arts heroics in film go, which one's better, Shang-Chi or Mortal Kombat? I know it's a useless question, but I'm stalling for time.
Definitely Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, yeah.
All right.
At least Shang-Chi sets up the next movie you want to watch.
Yeah, I'm only saying that just so I can title this the epic showdown or something between Mortal Kombat versus Shang-Chi.
Kung Fu fighting.
But with that, we're gonna you guys want to do a little news, right?
Yeah, let's do a little bit.
Dip out if you want. We had a nice concise show. You want to do news? Let's do news.
Yeah, just
comic book news.
We should have a current. Well, not like that, but yeah. Do you guys know who Joe Bennett is?
Never heard.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
He's the dude that did this.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he did that.
Oh, I didn't even see it. What was it?
It's not there.
He
did Immortal Hulk.
yeah, he's the current Immortal Hulk artist, which is getting ready to end.
All of a sudden, the writer, was it Alan Moore? Or
Al Ewing.
Alan Ewing. he says he's never working with Joe Bennett again after issue 50 of Immortal Hulk. So they're finishing the run, and now he chooses to. Joe Bennett, if you don't know, is in trouble for making political cartoons of in Brazil for I guess the dude that is running Brazil is a dude that's not too popular, and he made a cartoon of him killing his opponents like rats, and it brings in some weird genocidal undertones for that particular candidate, and his methods and his personal comments that he said about other ethnic groups in Brazil, from what I understand. I could have it wrong. But everybody's mad at Joe Bennett. Now, this cartoon isn't new that he did. It's resurfaced, and it surfaced in the past, and nobody's giving a fuck until now that Immortal Hulk is ending. And, he didn't say, Al Ewing didn't say, I'm not working with him. He's even said in a statement, I understand his things have been controversial. That's why I'm not working with him after issue 50 when it ends. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a clout thing. I mean, I don't get it. Like, if you don't like the guy, don't work with him. If you don't like his politics, or if you don't like his politics, and he's like he draws, and that's, I pay him to draw, not to tell me who to vote for. Then, because that's a fair thing, in society. It's not. It's frowned upon to do business with a talented person, even though they're a piece of shit, unless it's a specific part of the arts or. Kanye take a picture with Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson got to work rape and shit.
And the baby.
I don't know who the baby is. Like, does Marilyn Manson have a baby?
On the show.
Marilyn Manson had a baby?
No, a guy called the baby. That's the other dude in the picture with Kanye and Marilyn Manson.
Oh, okay.
And he also has. Huh?
Did he rape somebody or allegations of?
Not rape. I think homophobia.
Oh, okay.
But that was the whole thing
on the show.
Yeah.
Like, he was at a concert and he started saying some homophobic shit, and then all these concerts he was supposed to play at started canceling him.
Oh,
and he came out with this bullshit apology that meant nothing.
Yeah.
Like, straight PR mandate type shit that had no meaning. Like, he wasn't like. No, dude, fuck that dude.
Yeah, I mean, but realistically, like, yeah, fuck that dude. But also, I mean, I don't know. This day and age, even if you say it, you know what? I'm never saying that word again. I said it in the past. They're like, yeah, fuck you too for saying it in the past. No, I'm saying I'm not saying it anymore. Yeah. And it's like, I've learned. I'm teaching you. I'm telling you that you can learn and you can become a better person if you want to be. No, fuck you, fuck you, Matt Damon.
Right? Personal growth.
If I thought he was sincere, I would forgive him. But but not sincere.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
His heart isn't good enough to ignore what he said.
His heart didn't grow 3 sizes after learning that experience.
No, his music, it just isn't worth defending.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with Joe Bennett.
He has great music, so.
I'm sorry, say that again.
So it's like how Michael Jackson was terrible, but he had great music. So we separate the artist from the art.
Yeah.
Like, we don't do that with the baby. He's just not worth trouble.
I remember I had a boss from Senegal when the Michael Jackson stuff was going on in Senegal. They love Michael. He's like God. It's like when the Pope goes over, and he's like, and I go, that's some bullshit. Like, fuck, like, he goes, you don't care about Michael? I'm like, yeah, some of the songs are good. Like, I get it, but I go, like, I don't like that you know his name, but not Jonas Salk's name. And he goes, well, can Jonas Salk dance?
Like, you got me.
I'm like,
can't dance.
That's why I'm. Yeah.
Yep. Can't dance. No.
He's like, Jonas Salk can't dance. But he had a French Senegalian accent, which I'm not gonna try to do right now.
That's for the best. Yeah, but I will say that
paint over there.
So
in regards to Joe Bennett, I think that, you know, I feel like Al Ewing felt like he had to say something, and the run's done already. So it's just like he's like, I'm not gonna work with it moving forward. But at the same time, I feel like Joe Bennett is actually probably, as far as things go, in a little bit of a sweet spot as far as getting canceled is concerned. Like, people are mad at him right now, and you know, like, people know his work because of Immortal Hulk right now, I think, or at least here in the States. I feel like he's popular enough for it to matter, but not so popular that when he's gone for 6 months or 8 months, 9 months, like, people will hire him and nobody's going to even make a big uproar about it, I don't think.
where is Al Ewing from?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because
You mean here, like the United States?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's from the U.S. He's American, but I don't know what like state he's from.
because Joe Bennett is actually Brazilian. So if he's commenting on Brazilian politics, like, he's the guy that can do it, right? That's where he's from. Where Al Ewing is saying Joe Bennett is wrong, but how is Al Ewing, who is not Brazilian, commenting on Brazilian politics and saying someone from Brazil is wrong?
The problem isn't. Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Dang, I did not
And
know.
he had a
that.
birthday not too long ago. So happy birthday, Al.
I missed that. What did he say? What did he say?
He said Al Ewing had a birthday recently, and he's English.
He's English. Okay, that's what it is.
Well,
Yeah.
last month.
So the Conqueror is telling the Conquered how to run their own state. Okay.
The issue isn't that he's commenting on Brazilian politics. The issue is he's making people look like rodents.
Right.
And, yeah, go ahead, Mo.
It's how he did it. It's
Yeah.
not like he did it in the New Yorker, and it's not like he did it. Yeah. It's the equivalent of the person that made Barack Obama look like an ape,
Right.
and but for Brazil. But people are mad at it because it's the type of propaganda that was used in World War II or Nazi Germany, and that they're taking that leap for that, and that's between them and Marvel didn't fire Joe Bennett, just commenting it. So it's like there's nobody really like. Joe Bennett is not getting punished in any way, shape, or form. It's just people were commenting on what he said, and Al Ewing, like Larry said, he just felt like he had to say something, but he said he's not working with him after Immortal Hulk 50.
Right. And that's the thing. It sounds like Al Ewing doesn't really care. He waited until like they're not working together, like until their run is over, to say, oh, and by the way, I care, because now it seems more like virtual signaling than actually caring about the issues.
It honestly doesn't come out like that. It just comes out like he's just addressing the situation. Like he doesn't even have.
It's just the timing of it.
Yeah,
like it so happens that, like, you know how comics get done months in advance.
Way too much credit.
Well, here's the thing: is that the actual cartoon came out in 2016, and nobody said anything. Not even people being mad about it. So nobody. It's just coming out now because the environment is different, and they're like, "Yeah, you worked with that guy." And he goes, "Yeah, I did, and I'm not working with him after issue 50." Yeah.
Right. And you know, issue 50 had been done. It's like it's not too much credit. I just know how comics work. Like the joint has been done like the same way how they solicit books months in advance. It's like when they solicit those books, they're not soliciting books that aren't, or well, most like Marvel's not soliciting books that aren't complete.
Unless they're part of a big crossover.
Maybe that might be it. That might be it. But the book was already done, so he's just like, oh, and if this is when we're going to talk about it, it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to work with him moving forward, and he can say that because he's not working with anything with him currently. So it's like it's one of those things where it's the complete opposite of like the situation that happened with Warren Ellis. Like Warren Ellis was in the middle of announcing, or I should say, Image was in the middle of announcing that they were going to do a new project with Warren Ellis, and everybody was like, the whatchamacallit, the groomer dude, and then everything got canceled. So it's like that's the opposite kind of thing where it's like, but yeah, I would not be surprised though if Ben you'll see his name on some work in like 6 to 8 months time.
That might be a new game for us to play, like how we used to do. Well, how we tried to do the death pool, and you guys didn't let me. But
yeah,
how long will people stay canceled?
That we can play. That I'm down for.
So next time somebody gets canceled, we'll make a little spreadsheet and everything.
There we go.
Whoever gets close, and starting at 6 months, because it's got to be 6 months.
Yeah,
the news
I
cycle
agree.
for comics is slower than the one for politics. So
right,
right. 6 months, I think, for comics cancellations is a good one.
All right. So, what else is happening in the news?
Didn't you have a story, Mara?
I mean, there's a lot of different things happening, but nothing that.
Name one.
Tomorrow, the new Matrix trailer is supposed to drop
That's
for
not
the
news.
fourth movie. That's not what.
That's not news.
Oh,
The
why is
Justice
that
League
not news?
came out, and Jay hates it. That's news.
Wait, what? Okay, got it. Jay, you hate the Injustice animated film trailer?
I don't like the animation. Or
What about
the
it?
design. The
Do you not
character
like?
designs look bad.
Are those the character designs that are in the game?
No,
Okay,
no, they're
because I
not.
do agree. Like I looked at the trailer and I was like, why are they going with those designs? And I was like, is that what's in the game? I know that the game
The
does
game
like
looks good.
I know the game does like armory kind of stuff, but I don't even think like the initial designs before they get all the armor. I don't think like those designs in the show in the movie. I don't think those are the designs of those characters either, right?
I think this is supposed to be on the comic because the game takes place way after the events of this story
Right.
that they're doing.
Oh, and but that's not the design from the comics either, though, right?
No. That's the problem.
So
Like,
who
Joker
gave them these designs?
Joker is like super blocky.
Yeah,
He's not even wearing armor. He's just standing there, and he's like
he looks like a mix between the Batman animated series Joker and the friggin' last what's the is it last what dang all of a sudden I blanked out on the name of this classic Batman story. What's the
because no one cares.
the joint what's the joint with where Batman everybody says Batman kills Joker.
Oh, Killing Joke.
Killing Joke. Jesus. Wow.
He doesn't kill him in Killing Joke.
That's
Some
it.
people
Yeah.
some people
They-
suspect that that's
Dark
what
Knight
happened.
Returns is where he kills him, like straight up breaks his neck.
Wait, which one?
Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
In Killing Joke, it leaves it ambiguous except for the coloring, and then when they didn't want him to kill him, they recolored it, like 10 years later.
Are you talking about the comic? Because I remember in the comic, like it ends with them laughing.
Right, and Batman laughing because he delivered the Killing Joke. And then you see a puddle of blood on the floor, and then it gets recolored to mimic water.
No, I might have seen the
There's-
recolored one.
But there's a panel with just blood on the floor. And then now there's a panel with just water on the floor.
Yeah, it's tough for me when it's colored. The
Yeah, no shit.
Tiger Claw in chat says looking forward to the new Matrix. The new one is called Matrix Resurrection. Wasn't Neo dead at the end of that nonsense?
No,
Do you not see resurrection in the title?
like Neo was like
Resurrection.
to the machines, right? But
Why
like,
do you hate Jesus?
there's
Why do you
no
hate Jesus?
well, there's no body at the end of the Matrix movie.
Virtual Jesus.
That's because his disciples took it and told them that it rose 3 days later.
But there's no cave or stone or nothing.
It's in the
Virtual
It's
stone.
And now you got old ass
Well, he
Neo showing up like geriatric, drinking his Ensure, and
Neo died the same way Tetsuo died at the end of Akira. Like he just became like a sentient consciousness. That's all energy.
There it is. There it is.
I remember he was sucked into the Matrix.
Right. Just like Tetsuo was sucked into that, like, what is it? Another godhood dimension or some shit?
And now we got the old ass Neo. Shouldn't even be called Neo because he ain't new no more. Like, just walking around with a cane and some Ensure, and I don't know what the hell's going on. Dude, are we getting a new Neo? Is it? I thought the war was over. Why do we need another movie? The war was over, right?
We need the alt-right people to start using red and blue pill right.
Listen, supposedly the whole thing is like it's like a flip dynamic where you have like Neo playing like the Morpheus role, and then you have a young dude that's like the new Morpheus that's like playing the Neo role.
Why do we need another Morpheus and Neo? I thought the war was over.
Software.
You're gonna have to watch the movie to find out, or at least watch the trailer tomorrow.
Did Neo pull out in such a way that the machines took over within 3 days? Is that what happened? And now, like he's got to find some way to fix that, but he keeps walking away. What is that?
Jay,
okay. There have been other Neos in other versions of the Matrix in the past, so it appears that the cycle is repeating. But that's the thing: you have the original Neo. It's not a new cycle; it's the same goddamn cycle.
The original Neo. Who cares?
I'm like, it's a new cycle if Neo's playing Morpheus.
No, it's a new cycle if you have like a whole different if this Neo has any memories of the past Neo, then it's not a new cycle. Now, if this is like if it's a whole reboot and now they've recast the black character as a white character, that makes more sense. That's Hollywood. But I think it's a continuation, is what I've been told. It's so it's not a new cycle. It's the same cycle.
You don't.
That's the thing. Neo broke the cycle. That was the end of the movie. He broke those cycles. No new cycles.
At the end of 3, Oracle says Neo will return and the peace will last as long as it can. Says Big Man 24/7.
What does Oracle know? She ain't my Oracle.
I mean,
my Oracle red-headed.
I'm saying it's like it can be a new cycle and the same Neo as long as it's the same Neo but a new world.
It's
the same way as like the Mayan calendar ended, and then we had a day after that. Like it's a new cycle that's gonna last another 5,000 years or whatever.
Yeah, but each cycle ended with
so much. Why are you so bothered by it?
Because we're doing a show and it's a topic of discussion.
I thought we were talking about injustice.
Why do I care about who drew Batman 95? I mean,
no, but the thing is, like, your caring is not like they're like, yeah, you care who wrote Batman or who drew it in each issue because it changes what it is. But you're reading that issue. You haven't watched the movie yet.
But I will.
Save that argument for you.
This is the preamble.
He's like, it sucks already.
I'm a man of passion.
Well, look, give me a rating. Rate so we can get to the next one. Rate Matrix Resurrection for
2.
2. Okay, out of 5, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Listen.
Okay.
Yeah, like you missed the opportunity to rate it the 1.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but that was so obvious that
Oh,
that
okay. Yeah.
that's the type of joke someone who loves Disney would make.
Oh, got it.
Who enjoys the poor writing and all that. So I have
Got it.
a higher standard.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Anybody know what Shang-Chi made in the theater? It was like 71 million or some shit, right? People
I
actually
think
went
over
Yeah,
the
the Labor Day weekend total was 71 million.
and it beat out what was it? Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween for that record.
I mean, saying Shang-Chi beat Halloween and in Labor Day weekend is like saying LeBron James beat high school students at basketball. Like it's not. It didn't Black Widow make more than that? Its opening with 2-day opening as opposed to 3-day opening.
I think Black Widow did, but Black Widow's Black Widow.
And
it was like people got to watch it at home and at the theater.
I think it made more just in the theater, not even counting the at-home stuff.
Yeah, I think that's
point.
true too.
And
It was an experiment.
frankly, this Shang-Chi is a better movie than Black Widow.
I agree.
So yeah, well, you agree because strong female characters.
That's just a better movie.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah, because less women in it. I got you.
I don't know that there's less women in it. I think there's more women in Shang-Chi than there are in Black Widow.
Less powerful women.
Now, someone in the theater suggested that they might be that the women at the end might be widows.
Yeah, there was one widow there for sure. The one that was in Black Widow, the Asian one, was there.
There was
Oh,
a widow in the Fight Club fighting.
There was?
Oh, that's the one, yeah.
And she's actually credited as widow. So yeah, there's one from the movie. I don't think the chicks at the end are necessarily Black Widows because well, hold on, that's a spoiler if I talk about that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those women were being trained by the person in power.
Got it.
Derek H says, according to Disney, Black Widow actually lost money when it opened, so they only owe Scarlett $25.
Sounds about right.
It's messed up.
So you got time for one more story?
Hey, Jay.
Yeah, who's got it?
I'm out of stories.
I thought Jay had one because he mentioned it. But
No, he was giving us the warning, the one story warning.
The one story warning.
He was actually in the show.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know that there's other stuff that we should talk about that I'm forgetting. But
Nick Spencer is gonna retcon Sin's Past instead of One More Day. So people are still saying that the One More Day thing is so that it kind of ties into Spider-Man No Way Home, like it's similar. But who knows?
Yeah, it's all conjecture.
Yeah,
at this point.
Yeah. All right, I want to play wrap up music.
Let's do it.
Joe, man, give us some final thoughts.
Kid Cosmic Season 2 is out on Netflix. I heard it's pretty good.
All right. Oz, man, give us some final thoughts.
I didn't realize that Supergirl was back on TV. So if nobody's going to watch it, I don't blame you. It's fine. But it's back. There you go.
We need to do the spin-off show that's a TV show, like a TV review show. Because there's a lot of TV I want to talk about that we don't get to talk about here.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah. Larry, man, give us some... Oh, sorry. Laro, give me some final thoughts.
Hey, great job hosting today, Moses. Thank you.
Thank you. I did 2 lines of coke to get this much energy. As for everybody else, man, thank you for joining us. Hit likes, subscribe, the bell, all that shit. We're gonna bring you more one shots coming down. I have a little with King Spawn #1 reviews that should be out hopefully by Sunday, as well as other stuff coming down the line. But you're only gonna get to see them if you subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notified. And plus, that would help us out a little bit. Aside from that, we'll be back next week. I don't know what we're reviewing next week, so I can't tease that. But follow us on social media because we'll probably have it there. And that's it. We're out.